Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Kicking off this Father's Day weekend is the annual Ribfest here in Lloydminster. Although the rough weather may have slowed down their setting up process, the vendors are ready and proud to serve residents.
Who beats the Pete? No!
The sounds and smells of barbecue ribs filled the atmosphere at Lloyd X today as the event was setting up.
We brought the same staples as last year. We brought more of everything. Lloydminster showed up in a big way last year, and we are prepared to handle whatever you guys throw at us.
Jamie Williams is the pitmaster for Camp 31 and has been a part of Ribfest his whole life. His family has been involved with the event for nearly 40 years now. He believes even having COVID protocols in place, Ribfest is still successful as ever.
Anything the community can do, in a safe and effective manner is really important, right? The morale of the community gives them something to look forward to do, and the response we've had in every city we go to, even though people have to drive through, they stay in their cars and they can't leave, they're just excited to get out, music blasting, real live barbecue. We put on a show when we do this, and it is, overall, we're just excited to do this.
Jamie even showed us what it's like behind the grill and how their system runs through each Ribfest.
Pull it and flip it and grab the sauce mop.
And then
you got it.
Along with the other spots, Camp 31 has all their signature items ready to sell to customers. They expect the support will still be strong from Lloydminster residents this year to help with Border City Connects.
So we got our core staples, we got our ribs, our chicken, all smoked. We have our beef brisket smoked in-house. We got our pulled pork smoked in-house. We got a phenomenal beef rib, and we have everyone's favorite staples, cornbread, beans, coleslaw.
Next year, the plan is to hopefully transition back to live entertainment for Ribfest 2022, depending on COVID-19. Residents can now line up in the drive-thru to get some barbecue to help a good cause. For Primetime Local News, I'm Shelby Clark. With the longer days and warmer weather, summer is right around the corner, and construction season is well underway in Lloydminster. Work is progressing on infrastructure projects across the city, including the $81 million wastewater treatment plant, the $7 million fire hall, and work being completed on Highway 16 that is expected to last through October.
There's water and sewer work being done across the city. There will be road repair going on. There's a new sanitary main being put in. There's many different pieces, as well as the fire hall construction is continuing on. So, and the wastewater treatment plant, let's not forget about the big one.
Mayor Gerald Albers acknowledges that some of the construction may be causing a headache for some residents. He says this work needs to be done and urges patience from the public and reminds motorists to follow all posted detours.
We have a very busy city. You see some of it on 16 Highway, and people express that every day, and I appreciate that. We just ask, again, patience, work with the traffic, and work with the rules that have been laid out.
Road and traffic updates can be found on the city's website at lloydminster.ca/traffic. Fifth grade students from Thunderchild and Turtleford schools came together this week to unveil an art project dedicated to truth and reconciliation. Jillian Code has a story.
A new art piece was unveiled in Turtleford this week in a ceremony which celebrated community, unity, and truth and reconciliation. Gladys Wappus Grey Eyes, a residential school survivor, led the ceremony in a prayer honoring the gift of life. The project came to life in December with funding from the Saskatchewan Art Council grant.
We learned about First Nations art, so we learned about Cree-styled painting and drawing.
Bonnie McNabb, a local artist, worked with the students on their art projects through Zoom.
We decided to do a truth and reconciliation project through being able to say the same thing through different languages and different interpretations and expression.
McNabb says the mural depicts children playing, showing their innocence. When 215 children were found at a residential school in Kamloops, organizers added to the art piece by planting 215 marigolds.
It just seemed like it tied together so that we could go plant these marigolds they're very symbolic of children, is because they need nurturing, they need food, and they need water and tending to.
Truth and reconciliation was the driving theme of all of this. We wanted to bring our communities closer together, build relationships between students, and show that there was some connection.
Wapas Gray Eyes says that the recent discovery has been difficult.
There should never have been any graveyard in a residential school area. These children should have been taken home.
But the community support and Flower Memorial have allowed Wapas Gray Eyes a sense of peace.
What happened here today is a comfort. Like, it's a comfort to me because it should have happened way back then.
In Turtleford, Jillian Code, Primetime Local News.
This year marks the 75th anniversary of the War Amps Key Tag Service, and our Jasmine King spoke with them on the impact the Key Tag Service has on their programming and kids involved with the organization.
I'm joined here now with War Amps Public Awareness Officer Jamie Lunn, and first of all, I'll get you just to explain your story with the War Amps.
I actually was born without my right arm below the elbow. And the War Amps contacted my family shortly after I was born and asked if they wanted help raising their amputee child, as they had a lot of experience in amputation and artificial limbs. And so my parents accepted right from the very beginning, and I've been part of the association my entire life. And the association has provided me, the War Amps has provided me with funding for my artificial limbs and also emotional support throughout my life as well. I've had the great privilege of meeting other amputees who go through the same things that I do. And that's really an amazing thing that the War Amps provides to its members. And now I'm working for the association.
And with the War Amps, they also have their CHAMP program that you also went through. So could you give some background into the program?
Sure. So the War Amps CHAMP program for child amputees provides funding for artificial limbs and also emotional assistance for child amputees growing up in their program. And we assist child amputees from the age of 0. You know, sometimes they're born with amputations or have congenital amputations, all the way up into the age of 18. And again, throughout that program, we're able to gather child amputees at seminars, obviously outside of COVID times. And we're able to provide information on living healthy with their amputations, and also, you know, provide support as well when it comes to children growing up. So sometimes, you know, they may have a lot of things that they want to talk about, like teasing and staring in their own communities, and how each of them deals with those things. And again, different sessions as well for teens and things like that.
This year is the 75th anniversary of the War Amps Key Tag Service. So how big of an effect does the service have on the War Amps?
A big effect for sure. So the War Amps Key Tag Service actually originally was started by Second World War amputee veterans. So they had returned here to Canada, and these servicemen wanted to continue giving back to Canada and also have, you know, jobs in a sheltered workshop and competitive wages. And so they started the War Amps Key Tag Service to do that. And it continues to employ people with disabilities and people with amputations today. And so we're celebrating 75 years, and it is so important to us because we receive no government grants. So those who find that the program is so beneficial to them and very helpful choose to donate to the War Amps, and that helps to fund all of our programs for amputees across Canada.
And if someone wants to get involved with the War Amps, or they're just looking for a way they can help, how can they do that?
So you can go to waramps.ca or call our 1-800 number, 1-800-250-3030. And you can do, when you do that, you can also find more information on our key tag service and how to support us. So I do encourage everyone who receives free key tags in the mail to attach it to their key ring. It is a free service, and they are already active. So I encourage you to do that. And if you were to ever lose your keys, then we can help to get them back to you. And again, it's a free service that we provide. And if you find value in that service, then you can donate. And we appreciate all who do.
We'll have more Primetime Local News after the break.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Welcome back. Our Connor Chan caught up with Abby St. John to talk about this week's entertainment news.
Well, joining us for the entertainment panel is Abby St. John. Abby, a few things to talk about today. It was recently announced that the Beauty and the Beast prequel series that we have been hearing about for the last little bit here is finally starting to gain a little traction. We knew that Luke Evans and Josh Gad were expected to reprise their roles from the live-action movie. So what do we know at this point, and just what the whole concept of this series could be?
Yes, so it's finally been greenlit by Disney Plus, and it's going to be an 8-episode series following Gaston and his sidekick LeFou, taking place years before the events of Beauty and the Beast takes place. So it's going to be a prequel and a kind of a look into Gaston and LeFou and their relationship. And it will also there will also be a new character among other newer characters, but this one will be LeFou's stepsister Tilly, and it's going to show the three of them embarking on an adventure once Tilly uncovers something of her past. So they go on this big adventure, the three of them, to kind of discover what's been going on. Like you said, we will see Luke Evans and Josh Gad reprising their roles as Gaston and LeFou after they played those characters in the 2017 live-action Beauty and the Beast remake. And it will also shed some light on their friendship, because you know how Gaston is, he has the giant ego, and LeFou is this short, stumpy, dorky character. So we will see shed some light into their relationship and how on earth they became friends and how they're still friends when the events of Beauty and the Beast happen. So it's going to be interesting to see. And the actors who will be playing LeFou's stepsister Tilly will be a newcomer named Brianna Middleton, and the series is set to be released spring of 2022. So I'm very excited to see what they do with it and shed some light into who Gaston is and who LeFou is and their relationship and the beginning of it too. So I'm very excited for it.
And of course, there could be that same musical element as well, that we could see that. We got, of course, a piece of that with how Luke Evans and Josh Gad work together. And yeah, like you said, it'd be interesting to see how their emotional side of things. So we don't know a whole lot about those two characters from what we know right now, which is Beauty and the Beast. And another project, Abby, that's coming really soon here is Paul Rudd and Will Ferrell are teaming up once again. And we did see them, of course, in Anchorman. That's kind of what a lot of us know them for. But they're doing a little bit more of a dramedy series with this really interesting concept that was already, it's based on a true story about a psychiatrist and his patient. So take us through with this new Apple series that we could see the two in.
Yes, so it's going to be, like you said, a dramedy. It's going to dive into more dark comedy humor, and it's starring Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd. And it follows Martin, who's played by Ferrell, and his longtime therapist, Isaac. And, it's dealing with Martin's mental health and his personal relationships, including his relationship with his sister, Phyllis, who's going to be played by Catherine Hahn. And, it's him breaking through. The trailer starts out with him speaking with Isaac and saying, answering with the same line, "I'm fine," or "It's fine." And then you see Paul Rudd's character being like, "You know what, I'm getting really tired of hearing from you the word fine," or as he says, the F word. So then it's just going to progress, how, he breaks through during his therapy sessions and he's able to, kind of regain some of his life back. And that's all through the help of Isaac, his therapist. And it also shows, the strenuous relationship between his sister, Phyllis, because you see in the trailer, she's very skeptical about his relationship with his therapist. And, she states in the trailer that she doesn't trust him. So it's going to be interesting to see where this comedy or this dark comedy series follows. I think it's really important that they're shedding light into mental health and they're diving deeper into it. And, they're saying that, therapy isn't this taboo subject anymore. You can go to therapy and it actually does help. It actually does work. Just talking about what's been going on in your life and, doing different steps to get out of that kind of dark hole. And I think that's what this comedy series is going to be about. And I think Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd, even in the trailer alone, shows that they have fantastic chemistry. So I think the series is going to be a fantastic fantastic one, and it's going to shed some light into, deeper into mental health, but have that still comedic aspect that Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd put into the majority of their projects.
Yeah, I don't think I could see anybody better to do this project than those two. It's nice to also see them take on different roles than what we are accustomed to seeing them do. Abby St. John, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Now here's Heather Klages with what's happening around the border city.
It's Father's Day weekend. That means it is Ribfest weekend here in Lloydminster. Border City Connects brings you Ribfest. It's on today, tomorrow, and Sunday. So you can treat Dad every day this weekend if you want to delicious ribs from 4 of the best rib masters in the country. Unique flavors and sauces, so you can get those ribs. Maybe you'll try pulled pork, maybe you'll get brisket, or maybe you'll try something else. But whatever you do, you can enjoy the drive-through experience out at the Lloyd X grounds. And make sure you bring some extra cash with you so that you can get in on the 50-50 as well. Ribfest, brought to you by Border City Connects, is on this weekend. Full details on their website, bordercityconnects.com. The LGBTQ+ Society of Lloydminster is gearing up to celebrate Pride Week next week, and they get the celebration started coming up on Sunday. That's when they'll be hosting their Pride Walk. If you want to be a part of it, you do need to pre-register online for Sunday's walk, and they've got a number of different activities coming up throughout the week, including on Sunday evening. They have a virtual drag show. Tuesday and Thursdays, they have bedtime stories for kids with Drag Story Hour. There's going to be a movie watch party. There's a coloring contest, and so much more. And they're also proud to support on Monday National Indigenous Peoples Day. The Lloydminster Native Friendship Centre will be hosting a barbecue that you can stop by over the lunch hour on Monday. For all the details, you can go to lloydminsterpride.ca. Now open for the season, the outdoor pool here in Lloydminster. If you want to head out for a swim, though, you do need to pre-register. You can do that through the city's website, lloydminster.ca. And getting set to reopen on Sunday here in Lloydminster, the Gold Course Casino. For all the details, make sure you check out their Facebook page. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, we hope you stay safe and stay healthy.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.
That's all we have for news. Sports is next, but first, here's a look at your closing market.
Today's oil prices are brought to you by First General Services.
I'm happy to be joined today on Primetime Local News by Ricky Phillips from Styx. Ricky, it is so exciting to speak with you. I've been a fan of Styx for a long time, as well as the other groups that you have been in. And we're here today to talk about the new album release, Crash of the Crown. This is so exciting, Ricky. Tell me how this all came together.
Well, it was basically time to come up with something off the heels of The Mission, which for us did so well. We were thrilled with the way it was received, and trying to stay sort of in keeping with the prog roots of Styx and bring that out a little more. I have to commend Tommy Shaw on that one, because it would have been easy for us to kick back on our laurels and do some nice glossy singles. And he really wanted to forge ahead and be a little bit more adventurous, and why not? So we found a way to record. Todd did his drums from home. I flew to Nashville. I put on the mask and the shield and went to Nashville and recorded my stuff. I wanted to be right there with Will Ivankovich, the producer, face to face, because it's a big record. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of segues, different time signatures. It's a big meal, and so I wanted to be right there and be able to kind of bob and weave with whatever they wanted from me. As far as I'd worked on writing all the bass parts before I got there, but things always change when you're in the studio.
Now, there does seem to be more common these days, Ricky, as you said, for artists to release singles. First of all, I guess because it's easy, and it's not like it used to be where, you'd buy a full album, you'd read the liner notes, so you'd make almost an event of it. So
Yeah.
is there any concern about how, a 15-song album is going to be received in this time? Or do you know that you've got the fan base with Styx that no matter what you guys do, it's going to be well received?
I think there's no guarantees, but I do think that playing it safe at this point in the game, how many more chances are we going to have? So we're trying to do something that makes us happy, and I think generally that pays off well. So so far, we're kind of surprised in seeing how the immediate response to this record seems to be huge. It's shocking because it is, as I said, much more progressive all the way through than I believe any Styx records prior. So you're always taking a gamble, but you might as well be happy with what you've done, whether you win or lose. And it looks like we're winning on this one. I'm excited to get out and play it live. We all are.
So how long did it take for this record to come together? Was it something that you guys had some of these songs already ready to go, or was this all fresh from beginning to end?
It's pretty fresh. There were bits we always pick up our phones and record something in our dressing rooms, or little bits like that. That happens all the time in the Styx world. You can hear somebody singing something into their phone in the next room, or playing the guitar part or whatever. That's just the way we do it. We see each other more than we see our families until COVID came along. So at this point, it was referring to little bits and ideas and weaving songs out of them. Lyrically, Lawrence, who lives in Toronto, he would have to fly in and work with Tommy. JY, the same thing. Will had a big hand in the writing of various things on the record as well. So the way we did it was different. I got the music that once it was sort of put together, and was able to write all my parts from home. But then, as I said, I flew to Nashville to record it. But I'm happy we made the gamble. And I have to, again, pat Tommy Shaw on the back for deciding to let's go in some unexplored territory. Let's push this further than Styx has gone in the prog side. And I think there's some fun stuff, big Styx harmonies, all of the things that people look for are still there, but it's just a little bit more it's a bigger meal.
I think some of the songs, in my opinion anyways, almost sounded some cases operatic. It's just great to see. It sounds like classic Styx, and it's just a beautiful album front to back. And I know fans are going to want to get the chance to see you guys play this, which now it's obviously looking like, as long as things stay the way that they are, you guys are actually going to get to tour. So tell me about that.
We're really excited about it. We're going to go out here in a couple weeks. We're going to get together for a few days and make sure we remember all the Styx material and go over that. And then we hit the road starting off in Florida, and we're going to do about a 2.5, 3 week run of shows. And we have it worked out. We're kind of going to stay sequestered. Our buses, we'll have a couple buses, and then a crew will have a bus. Then our truck driver. Everybody has to have both their shots. There's a template of how we're going to do this at first, and let's hope that it will change and loosen up. But at least we're going to stay safe and make sure that the people coming to see us stay safe as well. There's going to be all kinds of, I don't know exactly what all the things are, protocol, but it's been an ongoing conversation for at least 6 months preparing for this.
Well, congratulations, Ricky. Like I said, this is a great album. I was lucky enough to get to listen to it ahead of time. I know you've released one single. When can fans actually get the whole album and all of the songs?
Very soon. Boy, I should know that release date, but it's very soon. I would say within the next week or so. It's exciting for us. this response that we're already getting it's what you hope for. And so I hope that when the people come and hear some of these songs, we won't be playing a lot. We don't want to drive people away with all new material. I always hated that myself. But we're going to make sure that all these shows have the whole span of Styx from beginning to the present, and tease you with a few new ones.
Well, Ricky, thanks so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it, and good luck, and hopefully we'll see you in Canada here sometime soon.
I hope so. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll now be ending off with taking a quick look at your 7-day forecast here. Starting off this Father's Day weekend on Saturday, we will see a very high chance there is some precipitation on Saturday, but we will have a mix of some sun and cloud. And on Sunday for Father's Day, it won't be as warm as we'd all like it to be, but I think we will be picking up temperatures as we move into next week. So on Monday, we'll be starting off next week with a high of 22 with a little bit more sun coming out behind those clouds. Tuesday, we'll be seeing a high of 26. Wednesday, a high of 27, a lot more warmer. But Thursday and Friday, we will drop a few degrees cooler with a high of 23. Thanks again for joining us. Have a great weekend.